In 1959, deep in the frozen Soviet mountains, a tent ripped open from the inside. 9 hikers ran barefoot into the pitch-black night. Only one of them made it out alive. What did they see out there in the dark?
This mystery still chills us to the bone, even today.
Back then, no smartphones, no GPS, no lifeline. The Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the most unsettling enigmas in history. This isn't just a documentary. It's a story that pulls you straight into unease. Are you ready? Because out here, a like and a subscribe might just be your only way to survive. January 1959. 9 young skiers set out for the Ural Mountains. They weren't amateurs. These were seasoned, almost professional adventurers. Igor Dyatlov, just 23, a brilliant leader. But that night, even he was consumed by fear. Zinaida Kolmogorova, tough as steel. She fell in the darkness. Yuri Doroshenko and Georgy Krivonishenko, the jokers of the group. Their laughter froze with them. Rustam Slobodin, the calm strategist. He fought to the very end, but never made it back. Alexander Kolovatov and Nikolai Thibault Brignol, curious minds, sharp as blades. What was the final image their eyes ever saw? Semyon Zolotaryov, a war veteran, stronger than most, yet utterly powerless against whatever they faced. Lyudmila Dubinina, a fierce adventurer. Her end was horrifying. The 10th member, Yuri Yudin, turned back with back pain. That choice was the only reason he lived. Photos, journals, songs, what they left behind weren't happy memories. They were the final, chilling traces. If you were part of that team, would you have turned back? Or would you have pushed on to the end? January 31st. They pitched their tent on Kholat Shakal, a mountain the locals called the Mountain of Death. -34 degrees, the kind of cold where your breath freezes the moment it leaves your lips. They secured the tent in the snow and prepared to sleep. Then suddenly, boom! A sound like an explosion. Terrified, they slashed open the tent from the inside. They ran out barefoot, some only in their socks. Their boots and coats were left behind. Their tracks stretched nearly a mile through the snow into a ravine. At first, the footprints were calm, orderly. Then they broke into sheer panic. No signs of a struggle, no footprints from outsiders. So what could have driven them out? If you were there, would you have stayed, hidden inside the tent? Or would you have run barefoot into the night? February 26th. The search team finally found the tent. It was half buried in snow, torn open from the inside. Half-eaten bread, folded clothes, a flashlight still switched on, all mysteriously untouched.
The camp looked abandoned, like a ghost had swept through.
Following the tracks, they found Yuri Krivonishenko and Yuri Doroshenko frozen under a cedar tree, dressed only in their underwear. Burns scarred their hands and feet. The tree was torn with desperate claw marks, showing they had tried to climb it desperately. They tried to build a fire, but failed. Farther up, Igor, Zenaida, and Rustam were found collapsed, as if they'd been trying to crawl back to the tent. Their cause of death: hypothermia. But Rustam's skull had been smashed by some unseen force. And yet, not a single external wound. When spring came and the snow melted, 4 more bodies surfaced in the ravine. Lyudmila, Semyon, Alexander, and Nikolai. Their ribs were shattered, eyes missing, and Lyudmila's tongue was completely gone. Maybe animals scavenged them, but the scene was still horrifyingly bizarre. And traces of radiation were found on their clothes. What would you have done if you found a camp like this? Would you chalk it up to the cold? Or would you believe something far darker was behind it? In May 1959, the Soviet Union officially closed the case. The conclusion was just one chilling line: an unknown compelling force. The autopsy results were bizarre. No poison, hardly any alcohol. Yet the injuries looked like they'd been hit by a speeding truck. Massive internal damage with little to no external wounds. Officials claimed the radiation traces came from military gear or lanterns. But can you really trust that explanation? On top of that, some records went missing. Entire rolls of film vanished. Was it just incompetence? Or was the truth deliberately buried? "66 years later, the truth is still buried in the snow. What really killed them? If it was an avalanche, why was the tent still standing? The slope was too gentle, and there were no signs of a slide. Researchers floated the theory, but the site never supported it. Orange glowing orbs were seen in the sky. Radiation was found on their clothes. Was it just from equipment? In 2025, some Russian scientists suggested it could be isotopes from rocket fuel. What if they'd stumbled onto a military secret? The whispers about a cover-up aren't so easy to dismiss. In the blizzard, their camera caught a blurry shape moving toward them. Could it have been Menk, the creature from Mansi legend hunting them? Missing tongues could point to animal scavenging. But there wasn't a single footprint in the snow. Honestly, if it were a Yeti, I'd be hiding. But if you were there, would you have laughed? Or frozen in place, just like them? In 2019, Russian authorities reopened the case, only to repeat the avalanche conclusion. But at the site, there were still no signs of an avalanche. The injuries looked more like a car crash, and the radiation remained unexplained. In 2025, an expedition reported finding metal cans, snapped ropes, and other debris at the scene. According to iHeart News, even back then, there was no blizzard that night. And parts of the official investigation are still blank. Entire sequences of photos have vanished. Was it just a mistake? Or is there still something they don't want us to see? The final photo, a hazy light and a strange figure. It could have been a camera glitch, or a glimpse of the terror that consumed them that night. The Dyatlov Pass. 66 years later, the mystery is still unsolved. A shredded tent, Burn marks, radiation, a missing tongue, and that final eerie photograph. Was it nature's fury? A military secret? Or something far beyond anything we can imagine? The truth is still buried in the snow. If you were on that mountain, would you have survived? Or would you still be lying somewhere out there under the ice? If this story gave you chills, don't forget to like and subscribe. Avalanches, rockets, or something far more terrifying. Be careful, the mountain is still watching you. Don't miss out on the next content. Subscribe, like, and turn on notifications.